Vice Chancellor, other principal officers of the university are present, our royal fathers, former Vice Chancellors of respective universities in our midst, eminent professors, international scholars, great alumni of Bafemi Outdoor University Lake, students of this university, my colleagues, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're here for a very special program, and that is the unveiling of the 50th anniversary logo for our great university, formerly University of Ife, now of Bafemi Awolowo University. The Vice Chancellor said we have two sets of alumni here, but they belong to the same university. It is what Yoruba would call Taiwo and Kainde, but of course from the same womb of their mother. Some people said they graduated from the University of Ife, while some people were admitted into the University of Ife and graduated from OAU. Without wasting time, with due respect, may I give indulgence that we all stand up and give honor to our fatherland Nigeria by singing the national anthem. The national anthem. La 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 la. Let's go. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's fellow brave, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. Professor Okon is one of the first sets of graduates of this university. He graduated in 1966. some things about him later. When he said, when I heard that, I just exist of the seat, I said, 66. I said, 66? Then yes. 66? Yes. And I remember where I was there. Yes, permit me to go through the protocol and introduce to us the principal officers and the chairman of this occasion. We have in our midst distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Vice Chancellor himself, the 10th Vice Chancellor, whom the Lord has placed upon his shoulders to preside over the affairs of the 50th anniversary of our university. He is also the chairman of this occasion, Professor Bamitale Omale. For the chairman of the unveiling of the logo for 50th anniversary, we can do much better. And of course, to his immediate right, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Ayobami Salami. And of course, to the immediate left of the Vice Chancellor, we have our own Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Sapuri Adejimi Akise. And of course, we have the representative of the registrar and the director, personnel affairs of this great university, Mrs. Bola Ajayi. And of course, sitting next to Mrs. Ajayi is the university librarian, Mrs. Buki Ashibiru. And of course, to the extreme left of the Vice Chancellor, we have the university person, Mrs. Lara Odeli. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in that room, we also have somebody, by the grace of God, he graduated from Zoology Department, Faculty of Science. He had his PhD at King's College London. He became a professor in 1979. He was the Vice Chancellor of the University of Europe between 1987 and 1991. He had several awards in credit, a distinguished award from Finland, 2 different awards from the United Kingdom, 2 different awards from the United States, Gold Medal Award from Nigeria in August, and of course he's been adjudged to be one of the 50 Nigerians of integrity by the Guardian newspaper in January 2012. And of course, the Vanguard newspaper has selected him as one of the 50 great alumni which OAU has ever produced. And I mustn't say this with microphone, but he got married to Joyce Amen Okon and blessed his 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. He enrolled into the university in 1962 and graduated in 1966. He is the guest of honor for this occasion, and that is Professor Okon. Chancellor may say this when he comes up here to address us. For those of us who are 50 years old this year, if you are a lecturer here or a staff, just make sure that at least you give a personal check donation at least 50,000 naira to the Vice Chancellor. Because you are lucky, as we are celebrating only you at 50, we are also celebrating you. So the Vice Chancellor will note that. And it's going to see the first set of people that will do that. My Vice Chancellor, sir, sitting at your back is the man who has been toiling for the success of this program. Is Professor Craig Opafemi, the chairman of the organizing committee of this anniversary. So with due respect, I would like to do a few We have those who have been seated before you came, believing that this unveiling of logo, 50th anniversary logo, should not be behind them. And of course, to the glory of God, we have all the way from Lagos, the gentlemen of the press, we have Channels Television here, we have AIT, we have MITV, and of course the NTA is also here. And so we have former Vice Chancellor there, Professor Akin Salau, former Vice Chancellor, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology. The Vice Chancellors, I'm also happy to inform you that we have the former Vice Chancellor of Crawford University, Ogun State, Professor Moses Toye. And of course, we have the former Honorable Minister of State for Water Resources, Honorable Bashir Awutoribo. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have here the Chairman of the Central Local Government, Dr. Taiwo Laiga. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce our royal fathers who are in attendance here, and the intimidating presence of our royal fathers is due to the fact that in Yoruba, OAU means Oba Awon University. And so the unveiling of our logo should not but attract the attention of first-class royal fathers in our midst. Let's all say happy to them. And of course, we have the provost of colleges there, and I want to start with the introduction and recognition of the provost, Postgraduate College. So today is not Sunday, it's Professor Sunday Igboho Oladiji. If you want to go to PG College, let your applause be much louder. And of course, we have the Provost, College of Health Sciences, our own Professor Solomon Oguneye. King Solomon. And of course we have here is the Chairman, Committee of Deans and Dean Faculty of Environmental Design and Management, Professor Venerable Samson Fadani. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have here the Dean Faculty of Technology, Professor Titi Kuku. Titi Kuku, 2 consonants and 2 vowels. Then we have the Dean Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Lee Olayemi. And of course, we have the Dean Faculty of Agri, Professor Simeon Deyika. And of course, we have Dean Faculty of Science, Professor Abdulwasi Musaid. Please, I would like to recognize somebody here, because without that person, the chairman of this occasion will not be hale and hearty and will not be radiant. And if you know that the role of women are important, clap for this man. Your wife of the Vice Chancellor. I want to say Professor Mrs. Taleroni. Approved. Please put hands together for that. Yes, thank you very much. And of course, the Vice Chancellors that we have in our midst, the alumni of this great university. And I know that the university administration values the invaluable contributions of the alumni to the development of this university. the Alumni Association. We call him World President, Mr. Biola Shomobi. I think he has the ability there, but I don't think it's in the hall. We have our alumni from River Bayelsa State chapters. Please stand for recognition. Alumni, I see you. And of course, we have from Abeokuta branch, led by the chairman himself, Isaac Davis. And of course, we have from Benin branch, led by the chairman, Barrister Amonagi. Am I right? I have here the representative of the national chairman of the National Organizing Committee. The chairman is represented here, and is represented by Mr. I don't know. Okay, Debola Mubel. Okay. Now, please, this gentleman did lots of work for us in Lagos. Please, let's begin once again. That is not how somebody who did not graduate from IFE, saying us like this, will not want to change to IFE. But want to appeal to you, people here, don't destroy your certificate. And just come and do a program here in IFE to belong to us here. And of course, we have our real partners here. Paale N.A. Adira. We also have Paale Elu Odolade. We also have Paale Ayowole Obi. After the Oloye G.O. Aketebolo. Oloye Abioye Olafomoson Wakesan Pepe. Àti Papa Alaba Francis Laye Oyawole. Now please, you will permit me to be doing this introduction in phases. Permit me to just close the first chapter like that and now move on to the next item of this program. Without wasting much of our time, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let's put hands together as I welcome the chairman and the vice chancellor of Babel Awolowo University Ile-Ife to the podium.
The principal officers here present, my Lord, spiritual and temporal. Particularly, I would like to recognize the long list of the royal fathers and chiefs that have come not only to represent the Kabisi on your feet, Oba Shijadi, Ade Shijadi, all the chiefs present, the provosts of our colleges, our deans, our heads of departments that are here present, the representative of the national president of our alumni association, Engineer Diola Ashokunbi. chairman of all the alumni branches all over Nigeria, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me say how delighted that I am this morning to flag off, as it were, the unveiling of the 58th anniversary logo. I'm delighted today because it's not often in life that a Vice Chancellor has the opportunity to be the 10th Vice Chancellor and to be the Vice Chancellor when the 58th anniversary is being celebrated. Many of you that are spiritual, when you go to the scriptures, 10 is described as a number of perfection, and 50 is described as a year of rest, a year of redemption, a year of a new beginning, and a year of jubilee. So I want to believe that celebrating the 58th anniversary of our university at this particular time is not by accident. I think it is divine. We have started these celebrations since last Friday, when we had the Jumat service well attended. On Sunday we had the church service, interdenominational service, which also was well attended. But let me apprehend, as it were, the import of this occasion this morning. When we started the planning of this occasion with the National Organizing Committee and the Local Organizing Committee, it was as if we started a voyage of discovery. There was no template to work upon, and we were, as it were, trying to navigate uncharted course. The by and by, as we continue to plot, as we continue to hold meetings, as we continue to ask questions, we constantly, every way of the step, believe that this 50th anniversary is going to be glorious. I'd like to say a few things about the journey so far. 50 years in the life of any individual, in the life of any institution, is a very momentous occasion. I remember when I was a much younger boy, the PRO was asking how many people are 50 years old. I'm sure probably a quarter of this auditorium will just be 50 and above. In those days, every time I'm told that someone is 50 years old, it looks so far away, so long. That can somebody be half of a century? And you are taught in the primary school that a century is 100 years. How can a single person be 50 years? How can an institution be 50 years? The year we are today. In 1962, when the University of Ife was established by the edict of the then Western Nigerian government, after the ASPI Commission that eventually led to to the movement of our temporary branch in Ibadan in October. Because I should say that openly this morning. The bad day really is in October. Some few months ago, there were some of our people on this social network, BlackBerry, all this Twitter. They were congratulating one another. Oh, you is 50. So I was wondering, which bad day really were they celebrating? But I just told myself, even when you are celebrating, you should leave some rooms for some confusion. So I just thought that, after all, it's a whole year celebration. So but the bad day really is October. So what we decided to do is that we start in January, then we end it in December with our convocation in between the period. There's going to be the New Year Games, about 3 or so international conferences already planned to mark the occasion. Many of these, the different details about the program will be on the net, and from time to time, the community and outside will be informed about. In 1962, when this university started, there were only 244 students. Today, we have about 36,000 students. When the university started in 1962, there were only 5 faculties. But today, we have 13 faculties and 2 colleges. This is apart from all the different units that on their own are autonomous, the different centers which on their own are autonomous. So you can see that over the last 50 years, a lot, as they will say, has passed over under the waters, under the bridge. A lot has passed under the bridge. As I'm talking this morning, this university has produced over 65,000 graduates who are in different, well-respected, different callings in life. The university has produced governors. The university has produced great men and women, managing directors of great corporations within and outside the country. Many of the few of the presidents that the nation has produced, and even a few of the vice presidents, anytime they hear that Obafemi Awolowo University is celebrating one thing or the other, they will tell you the story that in those days I did concessional exam, but unfortunately I was not admitted. At least the vice president has said it in my presence. So I want to really believe that your being here at this time is not by accident. God purposed it. And for you to receive this 58th anniversary, I believe is not by accident. When you were to decide on who is going to be the guest of honor today, a lot of choices confronted us. It was either to look for a very, very, very big man or woman, or important man or woman in the society. But at the end of the day, we decided that who is the man or woman that can be more important than our alumnus? But the problem we had was that, can we get any of the notable personalities that belonged to the first set in 1962 that are still alive? Because the story I was told that many of them have died. So when someone then mentioned Professor Okon, someone told me that, is he still around? Is he still alive? I said, you better be careful. So I want to thank God that in our midst this morning is a man of international stature, a man that has contributed so much to the academic environment, not only of the nation, but internationally. Some people will call him Professor Okon, some people will call him Professor Adon, some people will call him Professor Bat. But in all of this is a man that symbolizes what this university stands for. Is a man that incarnates, as it were, the leitmotif of this university, learning and culture. Professor Okon was at a time the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Uyo. I think it was the foundation. Am I right, sir? I think it was the foundation. I think you should clap. Because I'm not sure that even with the private schools or university rather that have been established today, we can still count our alumni that are vice chancellors. So if you have one that was a pioneer vice chancellor, I think we should clap more for him. In the last 50 years, the university has gone through a lot. We've had our valleys and we've climbed on our mountains. But the good story about Obafemi Awolowo University is the fact that inhabiting this confine, inhabiting this perimeter that is called OAU, are men and women that are rare to be found anywhere in the world. Our university, over the years, has successively been adjudged, and even very recently, as one of the best 10 research institutions in the whole of Africa. Obafemi Awolowo was where the first prototype of the bandolier was fabricated. Many today, when we talk medically about sickle cell, anemia, and some of these killer diseases, Obafemi Awolowo was the pioneer university that started the research to discover through the identifiable plant the cure for sickle cell anemia, and the story that I've been told is that anyone with the sickle cell disease do not oftentimes, the medical people, they are looking at me. I will say resolutionally looking at me that just make that mistake and you disgrace yourself here. I'll tell you the literature where I read it because I prepared for this talk. The literature will tell you that most sickle cell carriers, they do not oftentimes last more than 20-21 years. But with Fagara plant, we have the case that has lasted lead to to 42 years. It's also in Ife that the first Siamese twins were separated under the leadership of the current CMD, Professor Soya Adejoye. Professor Akishola, over the years, with Dr. Michael Badmore, and many of them in the hospital, have successfully did many kidney transplants. When you look at many of these things, inventions, discoveries, researches that are cutting edge, you will agree with me that Obafemi Awolowo University is not known, is not characterized, is not defined, as it were, only by strikes, riots, and lockouts. That is what the press would like to say about us. But here, residing here, are noble men and women that have proved their mantle all over the world. This university has also produced a Nobel laureate. Upon the foundation and the legacy and the edifice of our forefathers is that this administration has taken a decision that we are going to improve upon it, we are going to build upon it. Today, we are number 10 best research institution in Africa. I believe that before the end of this tenure, OAU should be among the first 5. Ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, today is not a day of speech making. It's a day that we're going to unveil the logo. And let me make this clear, is that on this campus, given the fact that I've had the privilege as a young man, as a young boy, when I came here, I was 16 plus. I've lived practically all my life here, except when I traveled out for my higher degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this categorically this morning, that here in Ife, in Obafemi Awolowo University, I am persuaded and I believe that in us are men and women, in us are students that are meant to break the barriers and cocoons of international discovery. We have the ability, we have the environment, we have the capacity, we have the ability. I believe we can do this. We're on the verge of doing it, and God align us, we're going to achieve it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Please will be the speaker. That was the Vice Chancellor of the Africa's Most Beautiful Campus, Professor Bamzale Opole.
With due respect to the Vice Chancellor, sir, like I said, I'll be doing the introduction first. I will have to take full responsibility on behalf of the protocol department of the 50th anniversary. I will have to introduce now our royal fathers in attendance, and I want to sincerely apologize for that great omission. We have His Royal Highness, Obanufe of Irema, KBC SF Kumishaki. And of course, we have Obalagi of Ife, His Royal Majesty Oba Hadura. Now, please, we don't clap for royal fathers, we say KBC. And of course, we have Akoko Ife, His Royal Highness Oba Owoyomi. Thank you very much. And of course, I also have here Chief Awominure. The Vice Chancellor was talking and he was very brave. Very brave. If you want to tell the Vice Chancellor, tell the Vice Chancellor to translate what he said into Yoruba. Put the last together to the Vice Chancellor. My Vice Chancellor understands Yoruba very perfectly well. And by virtue of what is happening around us here, Professor Obatale Omole is also the Oba of OU campus. The campus is also big enough to have an Oba. And of course, Obatale Omole is our Oba. I said it to the palace, and the campus said you see what to say about it. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have the alumni from Ondo branch here. Sit, please put your hands together for them. And of course, we have alumni in Iwo branch. That is the chairman there. When we went to his house in Iwo, we waited for him for 2 hours. We couldn't go in there. We said, should we want to go the left for the Kokoro? So we would like to recognize the presence of young stars here in our midst. The pupils from Sunshine National Primary School, they are here with their proprietors. Thank you very much. Do you know something about these young ones? They sing for you anthem. And they are primary school. Everybody admires OAU for everything that our founding fathers have done. And the Vice Chancellor has put God first in this anniversary. So we have our doctors, our nurses, by the grace of God, throughout the celebration, we will not need your expertise. But you will get the salary. The Vice Chancellor said we have some people who are here to give us good messages. But first and foremost, I've been granting indulgence. Let me see those of us who have good messages for the university. Would you respect them to see your hands up? Okay. Okay. And let me start by inviting here Professor Olalere Olabita. And let me say that again. We're going to unveil two things here today. We have the logo to be unveiled. And of course, we have another thing to be unveiled. Whoever knows the next thing we will unveil apart from the logo, you will get your salary in this one.
Kábíyèsí ọba àwọn yunifásitì.
Vice Chancellor, another round of applause because the way he has reacted shows precisely the direction I am going. When I said Kabiyesi, he did like this. You see, my goodwill message has to do with culture and relating to logo. What is in a logo and what is the cultural significance of logo? And you will see that every year is another year, like another year, 365 or 366. But you give a plus to a year and it becomes significant. You give a plus to a year and it becomes significant. And logos are intended to add pluses to whatever they represent. So this 50th year, 2012, is like another year. But for Ife, there is a plus. That is why we are celebrating. We will be celebrating positively this year. Yeah. Ife will be celebrating positively under your Vice Chancellorship this year. Yeah. And throughout your tenure. Yeah. And beyond. Yeah. Now, having understood that logos are pluses, you will also remember that 2012 is a year with a plus. But we are going to claim it positively for Ife and for ourselves. Why is it a year with a plus? It's a leap year. Tomorrow will be 29. The month would have ended today, 28, but tomorrow you have the plus. Give a round of applause to it. Now, a logo is not a logo until it is loved. A logo is not a logo until it is loved. It becomes a logo when you love it, and then you love into it, and it becomes a logo, and you are part of the logo. Now, what do I mean by that? When some people were discussing this event, I had to send text messages to some of my friends. Go and attend because it is significant.